Ready?
Yes.
You got it. And when you're done, you can just put it on the chair.
Now, is it supposed to be in front of me or both of us?
In front of you.
Oh, okay.
And just look at the top.
Okay. Now when you're ready. This is for me, featuring Queen Myasia.
Take one.
Take one.
Good job.
Okay.
Okay. First, let's toast
Yeah.
to the last episode of the season. Woo!
Oh my God.
Yes. What better way than to end it with my girl, my best friend, Queen Myasia. Shout out to Fresh Baguette for letting us have this episode here. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you. Give you your flowers. I love to give my guests their flowers. You are just so inspiring, so beautiful, so hardworking, so loving. My Capricorn sister, the Queen Myasia. I'm so proud of you, and I know you're going on a lot of new adventures. And I'm just excited to see, where you go and where you grow, So I'm so proud of you. Love you.
Thank you so much. Will you do this?
We broke the rules already.
Right? Thank you so much, Mia. Happy to be here.
Yes, okay, so let's get into it. Queen, you're a lot of things, I first met you as a model, then as a vegan chef, and then, transitioned into Pilates, certified Pilates instructor. Can you just talk about what has that journey been? How have you evolved into those, different hats and everything like that?
Yeah. So modeling for me was, I would say, like that first step, like that's where you and I first met. And before that, I was in college and I was modeling there. And so that was something that I really wanted to do. And I guess that was the introduction to like movement for me, like moving my body and, really feeling confident in myself. And so I joined the agency and that went really well. And I felt like modeling just wasn't scratching the itch that I wanted to scratch. And I'm like, I feel like I can go further. I need, more help, more work and things like that. And I was just like, I'll put a pin in it and I'll come back to it. I transitioned into being a chef when I became vegan. Well, after I became vegan. And that bloomed out of just wanting community around veganism and wanting community around just discipline and lifestyle changes. So that was something I love to do. I love to cook, and I love to cook for other people too. So that was something that I wanted to bring to other people and show them like, okay, there's different varieties here of things that we can do it ourselves. And then I started to put those two things together and I was like, I need to work on myself. I need to work on my fitness because I'm doing great things with my body and I'm doing great things with my diet. And so fitness kind of helped me go into combining those two things together. And then I approached a Pilates studio really close to my house. And I remember like texting you, Nia, and I was like, yes, like, let's go try this out. And so that was like one of my first experiences and, doing Pilates, and I experienced it with you. And just having that shared space with friends, I was just like, yeah, this is what I love to do. And the first day I walked in there, I did an intro class, like didn't even pay for the class. It was a free class. And I was like, yes, I want to do this. Like whatever she's doing, I want to do that. Like the instructor, I was like, yes, I need to do that.
And I admire that. I love how you walked in there and you're like, I'm about to do this, you know, and you really committed to it. And a year later, you were certified yourself. You know what I'm saying? And despite all of the hardships and the self-doubts that you experience, being your friend, I've got the opportunity to create with you, and I've also got the opportunity to be with you through the highs and the lows, whether it's self-doubt or anxiety, or even just fear. What do you feel like has helped you to push past those fears and, to be consistent and be committed to these goals that you've had?
That's a good question. Let me think about that.
Take your time.
I would say like fear fear definitely stagnates me, but it doesn't stop me. You know,
That's
like
so good.
I feel like a lot of times, like
Good.
I get really anxious, and you know that, like I'll express to you, like, you know, I'm thinking about this, I'm overthinking about this, and you know, should I move forward? And I remember you telling me, or always telling me, like, you know, you have to do something in order to learn that thing. And that piece of information is like, you know, okay, that helps me organize my mind, you know, that it's not, you know, about what I'm feeling right now, but what needs to get done despite how I feel. And I can't sit here and say that I'm always consistent or I'm always motivated, because I'm not. And it's easy for one to say like, oh, like motivation is what keeps you in the gym. Motivation is what keeps you waking up every day. And it's really not. It's routine. It's habits. It's building those habits, building on those habits, and just being adamant about what you believe and sticking to those habits and that routine.
And I love that. And you know, you have stuck to a routine and lifestyle of fitness and nutrition. Just recently, you launched your 12-week or 12-week core mastery program for mind, body, and truth. Can you talk about just what it took to bring that into fruition? That is just so exciting.
Yeah, it took a lot. It took a lot of,
because a lot of people talk, but you released this. This is like a real product that can serve people, that can transform people's health. And you have this out into the world for people to really utilize. You know, what did that take?
It took a lot of hard work, and it took a lot of self like research as well, like self-reflecting, self-research, because I'm like, what can I give to people that they can benefit from? Who is the person that I actually really want to work with? And it's really women. It's people that are adamant about their health, who want to live a disciplined lifestyle, because that's all that it's been for me, is just discipline, finding things that I'm passionate about and just adding them to my routine. So that program is really definitely about physical health, but nutrition as well. And, you know, mental health. So being mindful every day, you know, being aware of the space that you take up, and, you know, just cultivating a package for people to take all of that and really like personify it, you know, within themselves.
I love that. And just to plug that program a little bit further, what can somebody expect, you know, when they invest in that? What can they expect, like the first couple of weeks? What would that look like for them?
Yeah, so first couple weeks, so I'll go over the first week. Your first day is a fast. So no eating, no drinking, no smoking if you smoke, none of that. A lot of people do their fast with water. This is a 24-hour nothing fast. So that sets the tone for how everyone's gonna move going forward. You wanna start with a clean slate. Your next day, when you wake up, you're starting with affirmations. So I have all my clients say their affirmations in the mirror before they start their day. Followed after that would be your stretches, which I call like a warm up. And that's before you start your day. So you're warming up, stretching, and depending on who the client is, their warm up might vary. So if someone's focusing on a certain part of their body, then that warm up might be different from someone who has like injuries or things like that. So that's your first week or so, and you're really doing that consistently your first week, warming up, affirmations, and that just gets the person in the habit of, you know, waking up, starting with themselves, starting physically. And then that following week, okay, boom, we're starting with your grocery list. You're going straight to the store. And you're changing out the meals that you eat every day. So I have all my clients eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I create a plan for them based on their body type, their body goals, and things like that. And that plan is broken up as far as, you know, how much you need to eat every day based on your body type.
I think that's so beautiful, and it's so like comprehensive. You know what I'm saying? You're tackling diet, you're tackling, you know, exercise, and you're really tackling mindset. And I think that's the core of it, because, you know, there's so many different exercise regimens, diets, but it's like, if in the core you don't believe you can do it, you don't believe you're good enough, it's not gonna last, you know? So I really love that you have this really comprehensive package, and I'm so proud of you for putting that out. And you're already, you know, you already have clientele that you're already uplifting, benefiting, bringing healing to, I'm sure, you know, bringing confidence and love. And so shout out to you for that. One word that I was looking up pivot, and it's this idea of completely changing what you're doing, completely different direction. And you pivoted from, Queen Vegan to this Pilates instructor fitness lifestyle. What inspired that? Was it financial stability? Was it, I just want to do something different? What do you feel like inspired that pivot?
I feel like the shift was more about entrepreneurship versus work. And I wanted to create a lifestyle for myself that I was super comfortable with.
Yeah.
And for me, when I think about myself, I'm a vegan, I work out every day, and I meditate, and I like to write, and I like to think about things and converse with people and share my ideas and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do for the rest of my life until I find something else that I, want to add to my routine. So in my mind, I'm like, the easiest way for me to make money would be for me to find a skill set that I'm passionate about, that I can do without thought, that comes easy for me personally.
Yeah.
And that I can bring to other people, and I can be creative with how I present that to people.
Yeah.
And Pilates offered me the ability to be certified.
Right.
As an instructor. I'm also able to get other certifications. So I got a TRX suspension certification. I just got my CPR certification. And I'm working on getting a nutrition certification. So all of those things encompassing help me be a better instructor.
Right.
And it also adds value. Yep. To my offer.
Period.
So it's like, when people know that, she has the credentials, she's trustworthy, she shows up as the person that she's marketing.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
And I think that's important because, especially nowadays, fitness and, body goals is really trendy, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes that can be dangerous because sometimes you can have people who it's like they know nothing about nutrition. They know nothing about different body types and different regimens that work for different body types. And they're just telling you things that can actually be a detriment to your health, So I love that you're really investing in your credentials, in your certification, so it can provide, a high quality product, high quality knowledge to your clientele. One thing I love about you, you're a Capricorn. As you mentioned, you're my Capricorn sister.
Yes.
But we're a little different. I'm a January Capricorn. And you are a December Cap. I was looking up what are some of the differences. And so, Capricorns generally are very, I feel like hardworking, stubborn, but goal oriented. And I think the differences lie like January Capricorns might be a little bit more social, a little bit more open. And this is just, one blog, not necessarily true. And maybe December Capricorns might be more to themselves, more solitude, might take a little bit more time to warm up to somebody and quicker to walk away from somebody because they prioritize their solitude so much. How do you feel like, one, do you feel like that aligns with who you identify as? And then two, how do you feel like that has impacted your relationships, whether it's romantic, friendship, or even work partnerships?
Yeah. That's a good question. So I feel like January Capricorns and December Capricorns are definitely very different,
right?
As in like how we're like perceived by other people. I feel like mentally we're pretty much the same. I think we just go about things differently.
Right.
I would agree with being more to myself.
Right.
And I'm not comparing that to January Capricorns, but
just in general.
Yeah, just in general, I definitely feel like I am more to myself. It takes me a long time to like genuinely like open up to people.
Yeah. Shout out to the sun coming out.
Right.
Like, God loves us.
Right. So I definitely feel like I'm definitely a lot slower as far as welcoming people into my circle. But I also feel like when I like somebody or when I befriend somebody, like I'm really serious about it. Like I'm really like, we're friends, like, and I chose you as my friend. I chose to get to know you. And I chose for us to go through this process, even though I might be slow about it,
Right.
But I definitely think I am quick to walk away because I know what I want. I know the type of friends that I want. I know the type of people that I want to be around.
Yeah.
And that also comes with a mental standard as well. Like I feel like my standards are very mental when it comes to relationships with people, and less about like what the friend, you know, does or is interested in, but more so like how can we connect? Because what makes me feel comfortable with trusting people relationship wise is that I can be open, I can be honest, I can be myself. We can talk about these things and we can move forward, because that's how you become more intimate with people and that's how you get close to people. So I definitely feel like I'm slow with that process because I have trust issues. But I feel like that's a Capricorn thing too.
Right.
But yeah, for sure.
I love that. And you don't have to look at the camera the whole time. That's just like if you want to address the audience, you know what I'm saying? You can feel free to just like talk with me, but it's all good. But I love that. I love that and I'm sure you've gotten to learn more about yourself. You know, even becoming an entrepreneur, you realize you have to know yourself, know what you add, and know who you are. You know how you handle conflict, know how you handle different personality types. So I feel like you have probably grown that as you have developed your own personal businesses and stuff like that. And that's something that I've admired, you know, everything, all of your facets, just your just business mindset. Cause I think I really like what you said earlier of like, fear stagnates me, but it doesn't stop me. And I feel like I'm in a similar place of like, I don't want to be stuck here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm feeling how I'm feeling and I'm not sure how to, you know, carry it and, you know, manage it. And I feel like, you know, you do a great job of doing that, you know, feeling how you feel and still continuing with it. How do you feel like your spirituality has evolved as you continue to work on yourself? You know, on your page, you have themes of vitality, mindset. How do you feel like your spirituality has changed in this process?
That's a really great question. I also talk a lot about like the mind-body connection as well. And I feel like spiritually, routine has helped me hold space for my emotions. And
let's sit in that in a minute. I think that's really important because just coming back to me, because I'm being selfish. I'm using this for me because I'm just like, how can I better my life? And sometimes routine can be boring and scary, but you're right. Like, it is through that routine, it is through that discipline that you can have that freedom, that you can have space to feel. Because if you don't have this routine, now you have all this time and you don't know what to do with it. And now there's more anxiety because you don't feel like you have the time to express. But through that routine, you're like, I have my goals, I know what I'm gonna do with my time, and I can allot this time to feel fully, and then I can move forward. And so I feel like that is something I'm like, how do I build a routine? Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's so powerful. I just wanted to pause you on that, but that's really good.
Yeah. And I feel like we go through things similarly, like emotionally.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because you're going through an entrepreneurship journey as well.
Yeah.
And so it's like dealing with a lot of energies and a lot of other people's like energies and attitudes. And, you know, like someone might be really positive one day, you're not feeling it. You can't even like be positive with them, you know, or vice versa. And I would say like my routine has given me the opportunity to like, you know, like even like you were saying, like if you feel sad or if you're fearful, it's like I can stay right here and feel this feeling and feel it in my body right now. Or I can, you know, do this, still cry, still feel away, you know, still get it done, and still have time to cry later because I made time for myself. You get what I'm saying? I make time so that in the beginning of the day, I can get things done. So if something happens, I'll deal with it at the end of my day, you know, or vice versa, you know, however the day flows. But just back to your question about spiritual changes, I feel like I'm one of those people that feels my emotions in my body. Like I feel it in my body.
Viscerally.
Yes. And so when something happens, I'm like physically reacting. Like that's my first instinct, to like physically react. Pilates, breathing, the gym has helped me regulate my emotions. It's like when I feel something, like if I feel this burst of like rage, you know, maybe somebody cut me off in traffic. Girl, somebody cut me off in traffic. I had an issue, like today I had an issue with the front desk at the gym. Nothing serious, but it made me feel and maybe react physically. You know what I'm saying? So now when I'm going to do my workout, I might be thinking about that in my mind, but physically I'm benefiting my body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm taking my body through those emotions. Mentally, I'm thinking about it, but physically, I'm just working it out of my body. I'm working it out of my system and filling my body with a different feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's so powerful. And, you know, I love how you just talk about the mind-body connection and, you know, how nutrition ties into that. Even though you pivoted from, you know, being a vegan chef to Pilates and fitness, you know, it's still your lifestyle. You're still vegan. What advice would you give to somebody who is looking to implement that into their new diet? You know, they want to implement more plant-based or even become vegan. What advice would you give them?
I would say add before you subtract. Meaning like add more vegetables, add more vegan substitutes to your diet before you start replacing things.
That's good, girl. You give them 10.
Yes.
These are good tips.
Yes.
Then the first thing is like, let me take away, and now you're starving yourself, and now you're mad. Now you don't have a rhythm, and then you just go back, you backtrack.
Yeah.
But it's like, let me just get used to that.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I don't need that anymore.
Yeah. So it's like,
Good.
and even if it's something simple like, okay, I want to do plant-based butter versus regular butter. That's not a big change to your diet. You're probably still cooking, you know, toast or like, I don't know, salmon in your butter, but that's a small change. You know, you're just adding this new item, or you're adding more vegetables. You're adding oat milk instead of
water,
plant-based milk. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you're adding these things to your diet before you say, I'm gonna take this out.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
I love that. You
Yeah.
know, I've noticed you've been, you know, more active on social. You're sharing your affirmations. You're sharing your fitness journey. And I'm sure you're also, you know, you might be consuming a little bit more social. How do you feel, you know, there's like these couple influencers and couple goals and people doing the prom poses and all that stuff. What do you feel are some of the misconceptions that social media might have about like what a healthy relationship looks like?
like a healthy relationship? I feel like social media gives the perception that relationships, I feel like social media gives the perception that relationships are something to be like glorified.
Yeah.
And
on a pedestal, yep.
yeah, and I feel like it's very rare that couples show what they go through because that's so personal. You get what I'm saying? Like that's something that's very sacred about the relationship. The fact that they go through things, they get through them, and they move on. But I feel like social media kind of presents relationships like, oh, look at me and so-and-so, or look at what we're doing, look at the fun that we're having, or look at the things we're going through, we're arguing right now, this is so toxic. And it doesn't really talk about how the other person is connected to the other person. You know, it doesn't talk about how, you know, not even how you guys met, but like, why are you with this person? You know, why are you
gonna build or
what are you
together?
What is being a couple doing for your life? You know,
Ooh.
like, and I feel like social media kind of, it doesn't really go into depth that way, but to each his own, because it's like, how much of your relationship do you want to present?
Right.
You know?
What do you feel? And, you know, one thing I admire about you, you know, you're not like a couple influencer with your boyfriend, you know, but you might show him every once in a while, like when you guys are on vacation. And you shared that with me before, even when, because I wanted to be in a relationship for the longest, and you would talk to me about that. You were like, what do you see yourself building with this person? What do you see yourself creating with this person? What do you see your life being with this person? And I didn't really think about that. It was kind of like, oh, what are they going to do for me? How are they going to make me feel? Mm-hmm. And I really like that mindset. What do you feel like being in your relationship? What does that do for you in your life?
Yeah. For me personally, I feel like my partner, well, Nicholas, shout out to Nicholas Burns, is that Nick.
What's the man on girl?
Yes, follow him. He does credit consulting, all those things. So he has been an entrepreneur for a very long time, like since I met him. And what attracted me to him was the fact that he was willing to work towards something outside of what he had going on in his life. So when I see that quality in a man, it makes me feel like, okay, this person knows what hard work looks like, what it feels like, and what the result is, and he's willing to do it over and over and over and over again to get that same result, or another one. You get what I'm saying? Whatever solution that he finds.
Yeah.
So for me, what that does for me in our relationship, it grounds me in the idea that this person knows that it takes work, and me knowing who I am, knowing that, girl, I take work, I'm slow, I take time, I'm taking time to open up to this person, even though like I'm so infatuated with him, I'm in love with him, oh my gosh, I love this and that and all those amazing things about relationships is still very near and dear to my heart, but that's not sustainability. You get what I'm saying? So it's sustainability. It's knowing that this person, you know, knows that it's taking work and they're willing to work hard. They have a great work ethic and
put in the time, you know?
Exactly. And I'm willing to match that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna match that energy. If you're working hard, I'm gonna work harder.
Yeah.
If you're working harder, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna support you, you know? And so just having that partnership of teamwork, of, you get what I'm saying, back and forth, of, you know, exchange.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that is sexy. I think that is something, you know, praiseworthy. You're like, you're willing to have that teammate, that partner, and you're willing to support each other whenever it does get hard, because it will get hard, you know. And as you said, you know, social media, culture, whatever, glorifies relationships, glorifies, you know, wealthy, luxury, material things. What do you feel like is most important to you nowadays?
In general, or?
It's in general, yeah.
What's important to me these days?
Yes.
I would say love. At the end of the day,
love.
Love.
Yes. And what? How do you define love? You know, love is this big, ambiguous word.
I don't find it. I don't look for it. I don't look. I just.
Well, how would you describe it? Like, if you could, how would you define it? You know,
I would say love is one of those things that it's like your favorite meal that you like keep eating, and when you get tired of it, you're like, all right, I'm tired of it. But then you're like, nah, I need that again and again and again. And not to feed an addiction, but to say like, I'll make this meal. I don't care who makes it. I'll get the freshest ingredients. You get what I'm saying? Because this is what is so important. Even if that favorite meal takes like 3 hours for you to make, like, you're gonna do it every time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, that's love. And personifying that is like literally taking myself through the process of love and like loving again and again and having to do it again and again. And like you said, it gets boring. Like, that the boringness. It's crazy. I asked my client the other day, like, are you bored yet? Like, are you been bored, you know? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, that is the sweet spot. That's the great thing about when you're in a routine and you're like, this shit is boring. You get what I'm saying? Like, that is a feeling. That's an emotion. You get what I'm saying? But the fact that you have so much freedom in that routine, the fact that this routine, this boringness in your life has benefited you in so many ways, that's love.
So when you get to that boring point in whatever process, your advice would be, you know, keep going, or what would you say? Because I feel like I got that with my show. I was like, I'm bored now. You know, what would you say at that point, you know?
That's when I would say either you've mastered that, you get what I'm saying? Like, you've mastered doing the same thing over and over again. You've got the rinse and repeat. You've got it down packed. But I don't think that boring means like I should stop. You get what I'm saying? Because like we talked about before, it's like, it's not the motivation that keeps you going. You get what I'm saying? It's the routine.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, how can I duplicate that? Okay, how can I do less work now? You get what I'm saying? Or even when it does get to that point where you're like, okay, well, it always has to be me. I always have to be this person hosting my show. You get what I'm saying? What can you do to make it interesting?
Yeah.
You know, now you're adding that to your routine.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, we're gonna do one more question and then we're gonna do lightning round and we'll be done.
Okay.
All right, so what's next for you? You know, you and your boo, y'all moving to Florida.
Yes!
What does the next chapter look like for Miss Queen Myasia?
Yes, thank you, Mia. Yes, we're moving to Florida, Tampa specifically. The next chapter is fitness, y'all. It's Pilates, it's body, it's health, it's vitality, it's more love, it's more sun, and community. Yeah, that's my next goal.
And I love that. And I truly am praying that you find a rich community that you feel pours into you, adds to you, and just, transforms your life, because y'all deserve it. Y'all work so hard, and I'm just really excited for you.
Thank you.
All right, lightning round.
I'm ready.
So, first one, who inspires you the most?
My boyfriend, Nicholas.
I knew you were going to say that. Greatest pet peeve?
Greatest pet peeve?
Look at the basement.
I'm trying to think of a few things.
What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I would say, people, crowded places. There we
Okay,
go.
there you go. Okay. Next one. Will there ever be another Sun-Kissed Shawty photo shoot?
I don't know.
Okay. What 3 things do you always keep on you?
3,
Mm-hmm.
lip gloss, keys, wallet.
There you go. Last one. What are you most proud of?
I'm so proud of, honestly, I'm really proud of myself. I'm most proud of the process I went through to literally get this Pilates certification.
Yeah.
Like, literally it took me 6 months, less than 6 months. And the year before that, literally 12 months before, I was doing something completely different. So I'm proud of myself for transforming and pivoting in a graceful manner and still being able to live my life comfortably.
I love that. Thank you so much, Queen. Let the people know where they can find you, what you got coming up next, what they can expect from you.
Yes, thank you guys. So my name is Queen Myasia. Once again, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at queen.myasia. And definitely look out for me in Tampa. Look out for that core mastery program and some more things. So,
Period. I love you.
Thank you, Mia.
So great. All right. Thanks. Oh,
I'm like,
sorry, Teddy.
sorry, I got it.
We're breaking all the rules, but we love you, Teddy. And thank
Thanks.
y'all so much for tuning in. I am your girl, Nia Rose, and this is for me. Stay tuned for the next season, actually, because this is the wrap of this season. Your girl needs to get re-inspired, vitalized, all of that stuff. But you can listen to all the previous episodes on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram. Love. Peace.
Woo, peace. Woo. I love it. Girl, is there going to be another Sun-Kissed Shawty?